You woke up feeling chills ran down your spine as you again felt like someone was watching you closely. Something didn't feel right. Your heart beat a little faster as you pulled the blanket closer to your chin, trying to shake off the strange feeling that had been haunting you. Every night you feel like someone is watching you. Even though you're alone, at first it's just a small, uneasy feeling, but over time it gets stronger. You wake up in the middle of the night while your skin tingling and look around the dark room searching for someone, but no one is there. Even though you lock the doors and windows, you still feel like someone is nearby, watching from outside or maybe even inside your home. Little things moved around like a book or a necklace, things you know you didn't touch. The worst part is at the night. You can't sleep because the fear of being watched keeps you awake. You don't tell anyone because you think they won't believe you, but deep down you know it's real. You feel someone's presence, always lurking in the darkness, waiting for something. No matter how hard you tried, you couldn't shake this feeling that you weren't alone. You could feel it in your bones, in the way your skin prickled. When the night grew quiet, someone was out there watching your every move, waiting for something. You just didn't know what, and that was the scariest part. A week later, you were having dinner with your father after he came back from his work trip. He noticed that you were looking tensed and lost. An unknown fear was plastered on your face. Ryan, is something bothering you, dear? You slightly flinched and looked at him as he called your name after a heavy silence. Are you okay? He asked concerningly after seeing your reaction. You took a deep breath, trying to calm your racing heartbeat. You decided to tell him everything because this whole thing is affecting your mental health and you just can't keep it hidden anymore. Dad, I need to tell you something. I'm listening, tell me. You hesitated while your eyes darted around the room as if the unseen watcher might be listening. I think someone's been watching me. You finally whispered, barely able to meet his eyes. Your father furrows his brows in confusion. Watching you? What do you mean? He swallowed hard, trying to find the right words. For weeks now, maybe months, I felt like someone's been watching me, especially at night. I wake up and it feels like someone is in my room, just standing there watching. Your father's face turned serious. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I thought I was imagining it, but it's not just a feeling, Dad. Things have been moving around the house, like my necklace. I found it on the floor one morning, but I didn't take it out of my jewelry box, and sometimes I wake up and my door is slightly opened. Your father's eyes widened and his hand reached across the table to hold yours. Why didn't you say something earlier? He asked concerningly. I didn't want you to think I was being paranoid, but I'm scared, Dad. Really scared. It feels so real. Every night I feel like someone is there, just watching me. I can't sleep anymore. Tears started to fill your eyes. Your father squeezes your hand tightly. You should have told me sooner. We'll figure this out. I won't let anything happen to you. I'll hire someone to keep you safe. You nodded, feeling a mixture of relief and fear. You trust your father, but the thought of someone still watching makes your stomach twist. You just hope that whoever has been stalking you won't find another way to get close. The morning after your conversation with your father, he called you into his office. You felt a tight knot in your stomach as you made your way down the hallway, nervous about what's coming next. You know he's taking the situation seriously, and today you're supposed to meet the bodyguard he's hired to protect you. When you entered the office, your father was standing near his desk, talking to someone whose back was facing you. The man was tall, dressed in all black, and his presence felt intimidating, even from a distance. Your father noticed you and waved you over with a reassuring smile. Sweetheart, this is Jungkook. He's going to be your personal bodyguard from now on, he said, gesturing towards the man. The man Jungkook turned around slowly, and the moment your eyes met his, you froze. There was something unsettlingly familiar about him. His sharp features, the way his dark eyes seemed to pierce right through you. You can't shake the feeling that you have seen him before, but you can't place where. He smiled at you before giving you a polite nod. It's nice to meet you. His voice was deep and calm, but it sent a chill down your spine. You managed to force a small smile, but inside you felt uneasy. Why do I feel like I know him? You wondered, trying to stay calm. Your heart was pounding in your chest and your mind raced with thoughts. Your father noticed your discomfort and he knew you were just scared and worried. Jungkook comes highly recommended. He'll be staying with us, keeping an eye on everything and making sure you are safe at all times. You nodded, trying to push down the growing sense of dread in your stomach. Thank you, Dad. Jungkook took a step closer to you. I'll be with you everywhere you go. I promise you'll be safe with me, he said as his eyes locked with you. There was something about the way he said it that makes your skin crawl. It was not his words, it was the way he looked at you. Like he already knows too much. You feel the hair on the back of your neck stand up, and a shiver ran down your spine. You glanced at your father, who was smiling, clearly relieved to have found someone to protect you. He trusted Jungkook, but you can't shake the feeling that there's something wrong. Deep down, a voice whispered in the back of your mind, is this the same person who's been watching you all along? But you can't say anything, not yet. You swallowed your fear, trying to act normal. I appreciate it, you stammered, though your heart raced faster with every passing second. Jungkook gave you a small, almost knowing smile, his eyes never leaving yours. I'll take care of everything, he said, and for a moment you swear there was something dark hidden behind his polite expression. You forced yourself to look away, trying to calm the storm of fear building inside you. You told yourself it's just your imagination, that you're overthinking it. But as you stood there, you can't shake the terrible feeling that the man your father hired to protect you is the one you have been afraid of all along. Days went by, and little by little, the fear that used to make you feel so scared started to go away. At first, you were still nervous around Jungkook. You felt him near you all the time. His dark eyes seemed to watch you, but now instead of feeling scared, you feel like he's protecting you. He's always close, whether you are at home or shopping or sitting in the garden. The first night after Jungkook moved into the house, you still couldn't sleep well. You laid in bed staring at the ceiling, expecting to feel like someone was watching you from the dark, just like before, but instead you heard soft footsteps in the hallway, slow and careful. It was Jungkook walking quietly, making sure everything was okay. Somehow, knowing that he's outside your door, keeping you safe, made you feel a little better. After a few more nights, the scary feeling of being watched started to go away. The fear that used to keep you awake started to fade, and for the first time in months, you were able to sleep all through the night. In the morning after breakfast, you were sitting in the living room reading a book. Life is a lot better now, and you were glad that you let your father hire Jungkook for you. Now you feel more safe around him. As you were busy in your thoughts, Jungkook walked in. His eyes were fixed on you, admiring every inch of you, even from a distance. He just couldn't take his eyes off you, and the thought of keeping you safe and being in your service already does so much to him. Do you need anything? He asked, standing in the doorway. His hands were behind his back. His tone was gentle, careful not to disturb you too much. You looked up and shook your head. No, I'm fine, thanks. But as he turned to leave, you hesitated, then called after him. Actually, Jungkook? He stopped and looked back at you, raising an eyebrow. Yes. You bit your lip nervously before speaking. I just wanted to say thank you for everything. I have been able to sleep again because of you. I feel safe. His expression softened for a moment and a slight smile appeared on his lips. It's my job to keep you safe. I'm glad to hear you're feeling better. His voice was calm, almost soothing. Still, I just wanted you to know it means a lot. After that, things feel different. You started to notice more about him, the way he quietly looks after you, How he stands close but not too close, always respectful of your space. His presence, which once made you uneasy, now feel comforting. Slowly your doubts about him begin to lift. Maybe it was all in your head after all. Jungkook stopped and looked back. He thought about how things have changed. Before he became your bodyguard, he had watched you from a distance. It started when he saw you laughing with friends. Your smile caught his attention and he wanted to know more about you. But as he observed you, he realized the darkness surrounding you. You were often alone, and there was something vulnerable about the way you carried yourself. He became obsessed, not out of an ill will, but out of desperate need to protect you from the unseen dangers he sensed. He wanted to keep you safe, even if it means staying hidden. The more he watched, the more he felt a strong connection to you, even though you didn't know he existed. Now as a bodyguard, he can be close to you without hiding. He takes his job seriously, wanting to make you feel safe. He feels happy when he sees you starting to relax. The tension in your shoulders faded, and he noticed your laughter come more easily. Your eyes shine with the light he always wanted to protect. Jungkook enjoys small moments with you when you smiles at him, even just for giving you a cup of tea. It feels like a reward for all the times he stayed in the shadows. Each time you interact, he feels more drawn to you. He realizes he wants to be more than just your protector. He wants to be someone you can trust and feel comfortable with. But he knows he has to be careful. The line between protector and intruder is thin, and he doesn't want to scare you. He keeps his feelings to himself, trying not to show too much. For now, he will be the strong, silent guardian, hoping that one day you'll see him as more than just someone watching over you. You were making coffee for yourself as the weather was really nice. You heard silent footsteps approaching you and a smile appeared on your face. As you know, he's Jungkook. He barely makes any sound while walking. You turn to look at him. Would you like some coffee? He seems a bit surprised by your offer but nodded. Sure, thank you. You handed him a cup as he took it. Your fingers brushed against his. It was just for a second, but it sent a small joy through you. You glanced at him wondering if he felt it too, but his expression was as calm as ever. As you both sipped your coffee, the silence between you feels nice. It was not awkward like before. Instead, it was peaceful, comfortable. You sat at the table together, and after a while you found yourself speaking without thinking. Do you ever get tired? I mean, you're always watching out for me. Jungkook smiled slightly, a rare expression on his usually serious face. I don't mind, I'm used to it. But don't you ever want a break? You asked curiously. He looked down at his cup, then back up at you. I want to make sure you are safe. As long as you feel safe, I'm okay. His words touched something deep inside you, and you realized how much his care has started to mean to you. You have come to rely on him, not just as a bodyguard, but as someone who genuinely wants to protect you. You like having him around more than you ever thought you would. At night, you were in your room scrolling through your phone when something caught your eyes. Jungkook was out on his usual patrol around the house, checking the doors and windows like always. You have grown used to it. His quiet presence, even finding comfort in it. Over the past few weeks, you have started feeling something more, something deeper. His care, his gentleness, the way he always seems to know when you need him. It all made you fall for him in ways you never expected. But tonight, something feels different. You were scrolling through old photos on your phone and you came across a picture from months ago. It was blurry, taken through your window, but there was no mistaking the shape of the figure standing in the distance. The figure was tall, wearing dark clothes, and it looks exactly like Jungkook. Your heart skipped a beat. You try to brush it off, telling yourself it's just a coincidence, but the thought won't go away. You zoomed in onto the photo, and a cold chill ran down your spine. The outline was too familiar, the stance too much like him. It can't be. Feeling your chest tighten with anxiety, you started piecing things together. The way he always knew where to find you, even in places you hadn't mentioned. How he seems to know things about your routine that you never told him. The footsteps you used to hear at night before he became your bodyguard. They were like his. You stood up feeling shaky and walked towards the door, peeking out into the hallway. Jungkook was there, standing at the end, his back turned as he checked the locks. You hesitated for a moment, fear and doubts creeping in. You can't believe this, you don't want to believe this. But the more you think about it, the more the pieces fall into place. You took a deep breath and went outside to confront him. Jungkook? He turned towards you with a soft smile on his face. Ryan, you haven't slept yet? Without caring about anything, you came near him. You were angry. Have you been watching me before you became my bodyguard? Were you the one outside my window? You were closely observing his expressions, turning into surprised one, but then he looked guilty. He didn't answer and it literally broke your heart. Why aren't you answering me? Your voice broke in the middle. He took a slow step towards you. His face softened, but there was no denying the truth in his eyes. Ryan, I didn't mean to scare you. I was just trying to protect you. You took a step back, completely heartbroken at this moment. Protect me? You were stalking me. You made me feel like I was losing my mind. I wasn't trying to hurt you. I was watching because I needed to make sure you were safe. I didn't want anyone to hurt you. He maintained his calm voice. Tears filled in your eyes, but you held them back, shaking your head. You were the one hurting me. I was terrified for months. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't think straight. And all this time, it was you? Jungkook's eyes dropped to the floor, and for the first time you see something you have never seen him before, regret. I know I crossed a line, but I swear, it wasn't out of harm. I couldn't stay away. The room felt too small, the air too thick. You don't know whether to feel angry or heartbroken. You thought you were safe with him. You trusted him, and now you don't know what to feel. I need you to leave. I don't want to see you right now. You said angrily while Jungkook looked at you. Ryan, please, I know what I did was not appropriate, but listen to me. Leave before I call the police, Jungkook. Jungkook didn't move at first. His eyes searched yours, filled with pain, but he listened to you. After one last sad look, he turned and quietly walked out of the house. The door closed softly behind him. You stood there alone as silence filled the room. The man you trusted, the man you had started to care for, was the one who had caused all your fear. Now you felt lost, unsure how to handle the flood of emotions inside you. It had been weeks since you last saw Jungkook. You tried to forget him, but the memories wouldn't leave. The way he cared for you, the way he looked at you with such warmth, it all clung to your heart despite the betrayal. It was raining heavily and you were driving home from work. Your mind still filled with thoughts of him. The rain poured down heavily, making it hard to see the road. You gripped the steering wheel tightly, trying to focus, but your thoughts were scattered. Suddenly a truck swerved into your lane, its headlights blinding you. Your heart raced and panic surged through you. You tried to brake, but the road was slippery and your car skidded. Just as the truck was about to hit you, a figure appeared out of nowhere, yanking your car door open and pulling you out. You hit the ground hard, soaked by the rain, gasping for air. You looked up and saw Jungkook. His face was pale and drenched, and chest heaving from the effort. Are you okay? He looked at you concerned. You couldn't respond right away, still in shock from the near miss. He held you, shielding you from the rain, his eyes full of worry. How did you come here? You finally managed to ask. Jungkook's eyes softened as he knelt beside you, still holding on to you like he was afraid to let go. I couldn't stay away. I've been watching over you from a distance, making sure you were safe. You pulled away slightly. Why, Jungkook? Why did you follow me? Why didn't you just tell me the truth? His eyes were filled with guilt as he lowered his head. I'm sorry, I know what I did was wrong. I was scared that if you know the truth, you would never look at me the same, but you deserve to know everything. You looked away, not sure if you were ready to hear it, but something in his voice made you listen. I started following you because I wanted to protect you. At first, I didn't even know why I felt so drawn to you. I just saw you one day and I couldn't stop thinking about you. I know it was wrong, but I kept watching, wanting to be close, even from afar. Your breath hissed, hearing the raw honesty in his voice. When your father hired me as your bodyguard, I thought it was my chance to make things right. I thought if I could keep you safe, maybe you would see me differently. I never meant to hurt you. I just didn't know how to stop. You stared at him. Your heart was pounding, torn between anger and the deep feelings you still had for him. You scared me, Jungkook. For months I couldn't sleep. I thought someone was out to hurt me. I know, and I hate myself for that. I've been so selfish, but please believe me when I say I never wanted to hurt you. I just wanted to protect you, even if I went about it the wrong way. The rain continued to pour, but all you could focus on was the sincerity in his eyes. His wet hair clung to his face, and the raw vulnerability in his expression made it hard to stay angry. I'm so sorry. I'll do anything to make it up to you. I love you. I've loved you from the moment I saw you, and I've been a coward, hiding in the shadows instead of being honest with you. But I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere unless you tell me to. You felt tears filling your eyes, mixing with the rain on your face. Part of you still felt hurt, but seeing Jungkook like this, so genuine, so full of regret, softened the walls you have built around your heart. I don't know if I can just forget what happened, but I know you are telling the truth now. I'll wait as long as it takes for you to trust me again. Just give me a chance, please. For a long moment, you both stayed in the rain. You finally decided to tell him the truth as well. I do love you, Jungkook, but no more lies, no more secrets. A look of relief washed over his face as he gently cupped your face. His thumb brushed away the raindrops. I promise, no more lies, just us from now on. Without another word, he leaned down, pressing his forehead against yours, and you let out a breath you didn't realize you had been holding. Despite everything, you couldn't deny how much you still cared for him, and in that moment, standing together in the pouring rain, you knew that you could both find a way forward together.